Hey there, happy Monday to you. A start to a brand new week and time for a chance to make things happen, get things going. Hopefully this is going to go properly this time because I've realized the video from last Friday, my start off got cut off at the beginning. But the weekend, that's actually what I did for my weekend is actually going to be part of today's, or is part of today's topic. But hope you had yourself a great weekend, especially it was also Father's Day. For those of you who still have your fathers around, hope you had a chance to spend some time with them and have a good time. So we're going to talk about, it's always talked about here, body, mind, spirit, and different ways you can work on it. And usually it's come across more traditional ways, if you will, or lack of a better term, the more common ways. Body, we're talking about exercise, proper nutrition, all those different aspects in there. And sometimes, now I filter most things through my life of going through body, mind, and spirit. How does it factor in? What does it take place in there? And certain times I come across and even surprised at how it works out, about how they go through. So this one here, today's topic is a motorcycle ride for balancing the triad, body, mind, and spirit. Excuse me. I know a little while back I did a video about motorcycle ride for being in nature. I think that's what the topic was there. This one here was a full ride about being balancing the triad of body, mind, and spirit. Excuse me. And I didn't quite think about it at the time till I was making a post Saturday about the ride. So what this was a poker run from the American Legion Riders Chapter 95 out of Orville, California. I learned about that last week. Okay, making sure things are going okay because I can see the video is a little choppy here, but hopefully it's okay on the other end. Cycle Gear has a bike night, which is the second Tuesday of every month. And I had a chance to stop by the last bike night, which was today's Monday, so it was last Tuesday. And I guess the Legion Riders normally come up there and found out a little brochure thing about the ride they're having going to go. This might be fun. I'd never been on a group ride. I don't know what to look for. So I was kind of curious to go through and have some fun to check it out. And I had a good time. They put on a great ride, had a little fun ride up there. It was about 60 miles or so going up through the hills. It was a good ride. Had lunch afterwards, real good food. It turned out to be a real good time overall. Made the post and they shared up from their Facebook page. They shared some pictures up and I will share that to my social media page. You can check that afterwards. But it wasn't until I was making the post, which was just saying, hey, great ride. The weather turned out to be not too warm. Got to go through the mountains, had some great scenery, got to interact with some great other motorcyclists, had some good food. And then was writing that. It's like, wait a second. Excuse me here. Take a little drink. When I was doing body, mind, spirit, it actually surprised me. I'm going, wow. So how does it work? Well, body, I break body down into fitness, nutrition, and rest. So body, you're physically controlling the motorcycle. You're out in the elements, so you have to physically control it and going around. So that was the body. You got to control the bike, take it over. And actually, in fact, at our third stop, making a little turn in the dirt there, and I got loose and the bike almost went down. But so I had to physically control it and catch it, so make sure I didn't go down. I'm glad it didn't. That was nice to go through and do. And then with nutrition, hey, we had great food afterwards. Had nice. I was satisfied, had plenty to eat. Now with mind, I break it down to analytical, creative, and subconscious. With the mind, you're riding a motorcycle, so you got to be thinking about ahead, analyzing what's coming up, what are the turns coming up, what's behind you, what's going through, know where to turn, how to change the gears, what's going through, watch your speed. And on top of that, I was in a group of people. There was about, I think, 25 to your group. So you got maybe 10 people ahead of you, maybe 10 people behind you. So you're paying attention to what those people are doing, what's going behind you. So I'm using my analytical skills and sometimes creativity about what's going on, what's taking place, where are we going to go through and right at. Got to be aware of everything that's around you. I mean, you got to do that in a motorcycle to begin with, but more so when you're a group of people paying attention. So that's analytical mind working on. And I guess the surprising thing too for me was the spiritual aspect of it is the way I break it down. Because spiritual, we look at personal spirituality, your connection to yourself, communal spirituality, connection to others, and environmental spirituality. Environmental spirituality is being in nature, connection to a higher power, if you believe in that, and just being in your environment. So with the personal spirituality, I'm listening in silence. So I got quite a bit of time to ride in silence, kind of think and ponder things as I'm going around. So that worked out to be pretty good. I mean, it's one of the things I like about the bike is I get to be quiet and just have the noise of the wind going by and get some time to think and ponder. Communal spirituality, in this case here, there was about 100 and, well, I know there's probably at least 70 to 80, because we had two groups, and at least those were about 50, supposed to be about 50 bikes each. And there was another third group as well. So you're talking about probably around maybe 75 or so bikes that were there, and all the people, some were doubled up. So you're around a community of people like that. Plus, for myself, when it was done, I got to go visit a friend who I haven't seen in person in 9 months. So I got to visit with her. So I had the community out. I got to connect with people around me. Got to talk with some people there with some on the bikings and different things. We got things going back and forth, talking a little bit about the bikes there. It was a great conversation. And the third aspect of spirituality is the environment. So with that, we're out in nature. We're riding through the forest, going through the hills and going through. So you were out in nature. You feel the temperature changes. You got the smells that coming through there. Sometimes you get a chance. And with my friend, I was able to visit with her and be around her animals, like the dogs, the horses. And so that for me, that was the chance to go through and work with the being out in nature and connecting with animals. So yeah, I didn't quite trigger that until I was writing the post about it on Saturday night. I'm going, I connected up, and it was more spiritual than anything else, which I found kind of interesting, at least through the categories I do when I break down body, mind, spirit, breaking those categories down that way. So it was very interesting. There was more spiritual aspects, I guess, than anything else. But overall, I had a fun time. It was a bike. Got to see some sea. A couple times I wouldn't mind more, but when you got when you're riding with a bunch of group of people, you got to attention to what's going on around you. But it was fun. I enjoyed myself. If they're doing another one, I'll do it again. Yeah. So just realize that you can work on balancing for a variety of things, whether this is being a motorcycle, whether you're going on a bicycle ride or cycling ride. We're actually going on a training ride. I got a friend of mine. She does training all the time. I got a buddy that goes running all the time. So he's working on probably the spirituality all the time. So it's me when I do my training, I'm usually doing weightlifting inside. So it doesn't quite have the same element as being outside. We get the connection, or when you're interacting with other people. So just want to kind of go through and kind of share about my weekend. And it was, again, even a surprise for me. Even if we'd have a conversation, I could probably tell you about it, but still it was a little surprise going. Balancing the Triad can be done in a variety of ways. And this time here, I happened to work on a little bit of the physical. Hey, I had nutrition because I had a good lunch afterwards. Mental and creative. So the mind, because mental, creative, about how you ride and pay attention to what you're doing. And then more of the spiritual one. I covered all 3 ticks for the way I break down spiritual aspects of the bike. So it was a good time. So just understand that you can have yourself there's a variety of ways that you can work on balancing the triad, not just quote unquote the usual methods that I kind of talk about on here. So there's other ways you can do it as well and be creative about it. But if you want to see the run that we did, you'll see on my Facebook or Instagram post, you'll see the map that we went through and did. And then later on today, I will share the post from American Legion Riders Chapter 95, Oroville, California. I will share their link to my social media so you can see the pictures from the group ride. And yes, I do find myself in there, a number of little pics in the background there. So I am in the pictures. All right. Have yourself a great start to the week. I will catch you on Wednesday. So take care and balancing to you. Bye-bye.